Intro, 00 to 010, approximately 10 seconds. Upbeat, suspenseful music plays. Quick montage of Reddit screenshots and dramatic visuals, e.g. a stormy sky, a shocked face, a crowded room. Narrator, voiceover. Have you ever stumbled across a story so wild, so jaw-dropping that it stuck with you for days? Today, we're diving into the top 5 most shocking, unbelievable real-life stories from Reddit that'll leave you speechless. Trust me, number 4 is an absolute game changer. So grab a snack, hit that like button, and let's get started. Music fades into softer background track. Story 1. The Stranger in the Storm, 010 to 400-350. Background music, tense, mysterious piano notes. Narrator. Our first story comes from True Off My Chest, posted by a user we'll call Sarah, a 28-year-old nurse from a small town in Ohio. Sarah described herself as someone who's seen it all, long shifts, emotional patients, you name it. But nothing prepared her for what happened one stormy night last winter. Story narration. It was a freezing December evening, and Sarah was driving home after a 12-hour shift at the hospital. The roads were slick with ice, and a blizzard was rolling in, reducing visibility to almost zero. As her car crawled along, she noticed a figure on the side of the road. A man, hunched over, no coat, shivering in the snow. Against her better judgment, Sarah pulled over. "Sir, are you okay?" she called out, rolling down her window. The man, in his 40s, with a scruffy beard, looked up, his eyes hollow. I just need to get to the next town," he stammered. Sarah hesitated. Every true crime podcast she'd ever listened to screamed, "Don't let a stranger in your car." But the temperature was dropping fast, and she couldn't leave him to freeze. She let him in. He introduced himself as Tom and said he'd been stranded after his car broke down. He was quiet, clutching a small backpack, and thanked her profusely. Sarah tried to make small talk, but Tom's answers were vague. Her gut twisted. Something felt off. Halfway to the next town, Tom suddenly said, "You're a good person, Sarah. Not many people would stop." Sarah froze. She hadn't told him her name. Her heart raced as she gripped the steering wheel, glancing at him. How do you know my name?" she asked, her voice trembling. Tom smiled faintly. "I heard you on the phone earlier. You said it to someone." Sarah didn't buy it. She hadn't made any calls. The tension in the car was suffocating. Just as she considered pulling over, Tom pointed to a gas station up ahead. "Drop me here," he said. Relieved, Sarah complied. As he got out, he left his backpack on the seat. "Wait! Your bag!" Sarah called, but Tom was already gone, vanishing into the snowy night. Curious and terrified, she opened the backpack. Inside was a single photo of her, taken at the hospital weeks earlier. On the back, a note. "Thank you for being kind. You saved me tonight." Narrator's reaction. "Okay, I need a moment to process this. Was Tom a guardian angel, a stalker, something else entirely? This story gives me chills every time I think about it." Sarah later posted that she never saw him again, but she keeps the photo as a reminder to trust her instincts. Moral takeaway. Sometimes kindness can lead to moments that change you forever, but always stay cautious. Trust your gut when something feels wrong. Transition music, soft fade to next segment. Story 2. The Entitled Parent at the Park, 4 to 8, approximately 4. Background music, playful but slightly dramatic. Narrator. Next up, we head to r/entitled parents, where a user we'll call Mike, a 35-year-old dad from Seattle, shared a story that's equal parts infuriating and satisfying. Mike's a laid-back guy who loves taking his 6-year-old daughter Lily to the park. But one sunny afternoon, he met the ultimate Karen. Story narration. Mike and Lily were at the park, enjoying a perfect Saturday. Lily was zooming down the slide, giggling, when a woman in oversized sunglasses marched up with her son, who looked about 8. "Excuse me," the woman snapped. "My son needs to use the slide. Your daughter's been on it too long." Mike, confused, pointed out that Lily had only gone down twice. "There's no time limit on the slide," he said politely. The woman, let's call her Karen, rolled her eyes. "My son has sensory issues. He needs the slide to calm down. You wouldn't understand parenting a special needs child." Mike, trying to keep the peace, told Lily to let the boy go next. But Karen's son didn't just take a turn. He hogged the slide for 15 minutes, pushing other kids away while Karen cheered him on. When Lily asked to go again, Karen exploded. "You're teaching your daughter to be selfish," she yelled, loud enough for the whole park to hear. Mike had had enough. He calmly walked over to the park's bulletin board, where a sign clearly stated, "Play equipment is for shared use. Please be courteous." He pointed to it and said, "Ma'am, the rules apply to everyone." "Your son's had his turn." Karen's face turned red. "Do you know who I am? I'm on the neighborhood council," she shrieked. Mike, unfazed, replied, "That's great, but the slide doesn't care." The other parents, who'd been watching, started clapping. Karen grabbed her son and stormed off, muttering about rude people. Narrator's reaction. "Oh, Mike, you absolute legend. I love how he shut her down with pure logic and that perfect clapback. Karen thought she could bully her way through, but she picked the wrong dad to mess with." Moral dorm takeaway. Entitlement doesn't win you friends or slides. Treat others with respect, and don't expect special treatment just because you demand it. Transition music, upbeat, quick fade. Story 3, The Secret in the Attic. 8 to 12, approximately 4. Background music, eerie, suspenseful strings. Narrator, this one's from r/AskReddit, posted by a user we'll call Emma, a 22-year-old college student living in her childhood home in Texas. Emma's story starts with a simple task, cleaning out the attic, but it turns into a mystery that shook her to her core. Story narration. Emma's parents were downsizing and asked her to sort through old boxes in the attic. It was a dusty, cramped space filled with forgotten toys and holiday decorations. As she dug through a pile of her dad's old stuff, she found a locked metal box she'd never seen before. Curious, she grabbed a screwdriver and pried it open. Inside were letters, dozens of them, yellowed with age, addressed to her dad from someone named Clara. The handwriting was elegant and the tone was intimate. "I'll wait for you," one letter read. "No matter how long it takes." Emma's stomach dropped. Her parents had been married for 25 years, and her mom's name was Susan, not Clara. She kept reading. The letters revealed a love story from before Emma was born. Her dad had been engaged to Clara, but she'd vanished suddenly. The final letter, dated a month before her parents' wedding, was heartbreaking. "I'm sorry I had to leave. I'll always love you." Emma confronted her dad that night. His face went pale. He admitted that Clara was his first love, but she'd disappeared after a fight. And he'd never heard from her again. He married Susan soon after, assuming Clara had moved on. Emma, shaken, asked why he'd kept the letters. "Because," he said, "they remind me to cherish what I have now." Narrator's reaction. Wow, this one hits hard. Imagine finding out your dad had this whole secret past. It's like something out of a movie. I respect Emma's dad for his honesty, but I can't imagine how Emma felt holding those letters. Moral takeaway. The past shapes us, but it's the present we choose to live in. Honesty, even when it's painful, can bring families closer together. Transition music, soft, emotional piano. Story 4, The Uber Driver's Redemption, 12 to 16, approximately 4. Background music, uplifting, but suspenseful. Narrator. Here's the one you've been waiting for. Number 4, from r/AskReddit, posted by a user we'll call Alex, a 20-year-old college student from Chicago. This story is so wild, it'll leave you questioning everything. Story narration. Alex was out celebrating his 19th birthday, and let's just say he went a bit overboard with the drinks. By 2 a.m., he was blackout drunk, barely able to stand. His friends shoved him into an Uber, and Alex passed out in the back seat. When he woke up, the car was parked in his driveway, and the driver, a gruff man in his 50s, was yelling. "Look at this mess!" the driver shouted. Alex realized he'd thrown up all over the back seat. Mortified, he stammered apologies, but the driver was furious. "This is my last ride, and now my car's ruined. You owe me $200 or I'm calling the cops." Alex, still drunk, panicked. He had no cash, and his parents were away. He started rambling about his life, his disability, his parents' recent divorce, how he needed Uber to get around. The driver softened slightly and made a deal. He'd take Alex's ID and give him 24 hours to send the money. The next day, Alex sent the payment, expecting that to be the end of it. But then he got a text from the driver. "Kid, I'm sorry I yelled. I've got daughters your age and I shouldn't have lost it. Keep your head up." The driver even mailed back Alex's ID with a handwritten note full of advice about managing his disability. He never reported the incident to Uber. Alex later found out the driver had lost his job that week and was struggling to support his family. That night, Alex's mess was the last straw, but instead of anger, the driver chose kindness. Narrator's reaction. This story is why I love Reddit. It starts with a total disaster, but ends with this incredible moment of humanity. That driver could have been bitter, but he chose to lift Alex up. I'm not crying, you're crying. Moral takeaway. Even in our worst moments, a stranger's kindness can change our perspective. Pay it forward when you get the chance. Transition music. Warm, hopeful melody. Story 5. The Neighbor's Secret. 1600 to 1930, approximately 3:30. Background music. Tense, dramatic violin. Narrator. Our final story comes from R. True Off My Chest, posted by a user we'll call Jen, a 30-year-old single mom from Florida. Jen thought she knew her neighbor, until one night revealed a truth she'll never forget. Story narration. Jen lived in a quiet apartment complex with her 4-year-old son, Max. Her neighbor, Mrs. Carter, was a sweet, elderly woman who always brought Max cookies and asked about Jen's day. They'd chat for hours, and Jen felt like Mrs. Carter was family. One night, Jen heard a crash from Mrs. Carter's apartment. Worried, she knocked on the door. No answer. She used the spare key Mrs. Carter had given her and stepped inside. The place was a mess. Furniture overturned, papers everywhere. In the living room, Mrs. Carter sat on the floor sobbing, clutching a photo album. "Mrs. Carter, what's wrong?" Jen asked. The older woman looked up, tears streaming down her face. "I'm not who you think I am," she whispered. She handed Jen the album. Inside were newspaper clippings from the 1980s, articles about a woman named Margaret who disappeared after being accused of a crime she didn't commit. The photos showed a younger Mrs. Carter. "I've been hiding for 40 years, she confessed. She'd changed her name and moved across the country to escape a false accusation. The crash Jen heard was Mrs. Carter destroying old evidence she'd kept hidden. She was terrified her past was catching up. Jen promised to keep her secret. Over the next few weeks, she helped Mrs. Carter rebuild her confidence, reminding her that she'd built a good life. Mrs. Carter passed away a few months later, leaving Jen a note. "You gave me peace in my final days." Narrator's reaction. "This one breaks my heart. Mrs. Carter carried that burden for decades, and Jen's compassion gave her closure. It's a reminder that everyone has a story we might never know." Morale, takeaway. Never judge someone without knowing their full story. A little kindness can heal wounds you can't see. Transition music. Soft, reflective piano. Outro. 1930 to 2000, approximately 30 seconds. Background music. Upbeat, inspiring track. Narrator. And there you have it. 5 unbelievable stories from Reddit that prove truth is stranger than fiction. Which one shocked you the most? Drop it in the comments below and let me know if you've got a crazy story of your own. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next wild Reddit roundup. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Outro animation. Subscribe button, like icon, and a montage of Reddit logos. Music fades out.